The ice came overnight. Not the kind of thin crust you'd expect in early summer. This was thick, old ice, the kind you'd see up in the deep Arctic, frozen solid enough to shatter ships. The town of Karak Bay hadn't seen ice like this in living memory, let alone in June. It was unnatural, and the townsfolk knew it. The ocean was the lifeblood of Karak Bay, a remote Alaskan fishing village clinging to the shoreline like a stubborn barnacle, where the midnight sun kept the water dark but liquid, even in the coldest years. Yet here it was. Captain Silas Crowley lit his third cigarette of the morning, staring out from the deck of the Pale Bride, his aging whaling trawler, at the white desert stretching endlessly toward the horizon. His boots crunched against brittle frost coating the deck. A bad sign. The sea wasn't supposed to freeze here. Not like this. Not now. His ship lay anchored about 20 miles offshore, trapped in ice that hadn't been there the night before. "Christ almighty," muttered Tom Whitaker, the youngest crewman, barely out of high school and already regretting every decision that got him here. His voice echoed strange against the stillness. Silas nodded slowly, wiping a gloved hand across his beard. "Something's wrong with the water." It wasn't just the silence, though the absence of wind, waves, or even gulls was eerie enough. It was the color. Beneath the thick white crust, faint crimson cracks spiderwebbed out beneath the hull, growing, branching like blood vessels. The ice wasn't clear or cloudy, it was translucent, and under that milky sheet pulsed those red lines. They didn't shimmer like reflections or currents, they pulsed. A rhythmic throb, slow but steady. Alive. Back in town, old Gus Petrov sat by the oil drum fire outside the canning plant, sipping rot-gut whiskey from a chipped mug. He hadn't spoken much in years. Some said he'd gone mad after his son disappeared on the ice 30 years back. Others whispered that Gus had seen something out there. Something old. When the ice came in overnight, Gus had muttered just one thing before going silent again. The sleepers stirring. No one asked him to clarify. On the third day, trapped in the frozen bay, the crew noticed the temperature wasn't dropping. It was warm, almost muggy. Yet the ice remained, thick as concrete, frost creeping into the ship's hull seams. Below deck, pipes burst one by one, gushing steam, and still beneath them, the red veins in the ice pulsed stronger. The ship's cook, Denny, claimed he saw movement beneath the cracks. A shadow shifting deep under the ice, something whale-sized but slower, heavier. "Like the whole sea's breathing," he whispered. That night, the crew heard it. Low and deep, a groaning from below, like an animal's breath or the shifting of a colossal weight. The vibration rattled dishes in the galley and set icicles dangling from the railing, quivering like teeth in a skull. No wind, no waves, just that low, aching moan. Silas dreamed of teeth. Enormous rows, curved and yellowed, closing around the Pale Bride like a jaw. When he awoke, there were bruises on his arms, long finger-like marks, though no one had touched him. In the following days, the ice began to change. The red cracks widened, and in the growing gaps, they saw texture. Flesh, coarse, pale gray skin beneath the ice, like the hide of some ancient leviathan, barnacle-crusted, scarred, and breathing. They could see it now, the rise and fall. The crew splintered. Some wanted to break free, to hack at the ice and risk hypothermia trying to trek back to Karak Bay on foot. Others, like Silas, knew deep down the bay wouldn't be there anymore. He could feel it. The village, the people, it was all part of this thing now. They were standing atop something old, older than the land, older than the ice. The sea hadn't frozen, it had risen, and it was hungry.